Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shelly if you're new here, and please feel free to subscribe. Anyway, my Shelly's hot topic of the day is going to be post-stroke personalities. Now, what I mean by that, I did do a prior video about how my husband's stroke has affected our relationship. This is a little bit of an expanse on that, right? I'm going to expand on that a little bit. It's their overall personalities, not just the relationship with me, but the relationship with my children, his children, our grandchildren, people, my friends, just in general, how his stroke has affected his personality, I think, with everybody. So I want to start by saying, I get it. When someone has a stroke, so much changes in them. They're frustrated, they're agitated, they can't do what they used to do. I get all that. Meaning I get it, I try to sympathize with that. My husband is absolutely not the person he was prior to his stroke. That being said, he has become, to me, a very agitated, angry person. Now, somebody who sees that and says, hey, I'm gonna, let's say do therapy. I'll do therapy with you. I'll do couples counseling. I'll do counseling. I'll do, I'll take medication or mood elevators or whatever the case, right? To me, now you're trying, like we're trying together to resolve that. On the other hand, the flip side of that, you have people who say no. Like my husband, he ain't feeling any kind of medications. He doesn't want to go to therapy. And he literally looked at me and said, 90% of our arguments are your fault. I said, listen, I ain't no prize, okay? But I'm pretty sure that, relationships are 50-50, sometimes 60-40, 80-20, but for the most part, when you're having issues, I always tell everyone it's how's the saying goes, your side, my side, and the truth. And it always is somewhere like in the middle. So I wonder, like, how much do people have to put up with? By that I mean, like, when do we start worrying about our own mental health and our own peace? I am 63 and God has blessed me to bring me this far, right? And I'm so lucky and fortunate for that. My husband's 75 and he did recover from his stroke, for the most part. He's got obviously personality issues and anger issues, but he's doing really well. He drives, he lives his life. But I am seeing that, like, my friends don't want to come here. My children don't want to come here. Even our grandchildren, they come, they're like, yo, they stay away from Papa. He's just he's mean sometimes and just very agitated. Again, I get it. I'm not mad at that, but I guess my question would be, when would someone say, I just can't take that anymore, right? Do we just do till we can't? Or do we at some point, is it okay, I guess, is my thought process to say, I just can't do this anymore. Like, I know this comes as a real big surprise to you guys, but I'm real social. I'm Chatty Cathy and I talk to everyone and I love being with my friends and my kids and my grandkids. And I love the holidays with family around. And my husband, not so much. He just doesn't want to be bothered with anyone or anything anymore. And it's very, very hard. And again, I could stick around forever if that was something he was saying. Hey, I'm going to work on it. Let's work on this together. Or I see what you're saying. Let's go after this together, right? That's not what's going on. So, I'm still working on it. I'm still plugging. I'm still fighting. I guess my question is, do any of you go through that? You see that intense personality shift. And it's like, what do I do now? He doesn't want to change. He doesn't want to, he doesn't want to do anything, I guess, about it. He doesn't feel that he has any issues. So I don't want to like, I know this sounds strange. I'm not saying like women should just leave, like, or men, or whatever the case is, or you should just run away and leave. I'm not saying that. But when is that line? Like when you're just unhappy, do you just say, I just don't want to be unhappy anymore? Or I can't take that emotional beating anymore, right? I always think about what I would tell my friends. You know, I would tell my friends, protect your peace, man. Do what you can do till you can't do it anymore. And then protect your peace and your mental health too, right? We matter, right? I mean, I would tell my friends that. I would tell my sister, my daughters. I would tell anyone, you know, or men too. You know, if your wife had a stroke and she's very combative or whatever the case, we have to protect ourselves, right? But how do we do that? Now we have this intense guilt, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go live with my daughter now, or I'm gonna go get an apartment now. He had a stroke or she had a stroke, and I'm gonna leave and leave them, you know, on their own. Now we have this crazy guilt, right? Like we feel like that's not an option, right? So, but you know, maybe that has to be an option. Maybe it has to be an option where we say, you know what, I'm gonna help you, and I'm gonna be there for you, and I'll do what I can, but I have to do it from a little bit of a distance, like a buffer. You know, because people can be very mean after post-stroke. You know, oddly enough, you know, and I've seen post-stroke people that become very, very sweet, very docile, very calm, very withdrawn. Yeah, not my husband. He's very, very mad. Most of the time, he's mad. I would say in an 8-hour day, you know, you sit with him for 8 hours, you're gonna get a grouchy face 6 of those 8. You know, he's just very, very frustrated. And when I talk to him about it, he says, no, it's you. It's your fault. You did this. You did that. You said this. You said that. I'm a reaction to your action. And then I think, is it me? Like, or was this our dynamic all the time? And maybe the stroke brought it out, or I don't know. It's just a strange, fine line. Like, do I stay? Do you keep taking that beating, or do you go and help from afar? You know, I could call his children and just say, hey, you know, I can't do this anymore. I'm elderly myself, and you know, I have to protect my peace. I mean, even my grandkids, you know, I have to protect them. He comes very angry at them, and I don't want that. I don't want that for them. You know, they don't want to be with him too much anymore. And this is a man who carried them on his shoulders, right? It's sad. It's a very sad thing to see, but anyway, so that was my question. What do you guys think of that? Like, do you tough it out? Do you know, if they're refusing therapy and medication, and you know, where is our responsibility? Do we just have to stay and tough it out because we said for better or worse, so we just take the worst forever? Do we do it from afar? Do we go away 2 days, come home 2 days? Like, you know, I would be curious to know if any of you have ever gone through that. So anyway, that's my Shelly's, you know, thought for the day. Thank you, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks.